to another episode of Dr. Ruchika Sharma Unfiltered. I am Dr. Ruchika Sharma. I'm a historian by training. I have a few other credentials listed in the description box, none of which are relevant for this channel. This is a channel where I talk about my travels to the United Kingdom. I did 35 cities, and each episode I try and cover a particular city and tell you about what I did in that particular city, where did I go, what did I eat, this, that, and the other. In case you're new here, you might want to check out the previous videos because it's a series of videos. You might want to check out the introductory videos where I talk about why was I in the UK, where was I staying. So you might want to check all of that out. Having said that, I haven't posted on this channel for a while. That's because I have another channel where I do post far more regularly than here. That is a channel on history because I'm a historian. It's on Indian history. So in case you're interested in that, there is a link in the description box to that channel as well. But besides that, there's plenty of academic writing that I had to do, lots of events to attend. Just couldn't get the time. But now that I have, I thought I'd quickly make a video. So in my last video, I spoke about my first time in London and how cool that was. In case you missed that, you can check that out. It's just the previous episode. Then I went ahead and spent a few days on campus because I was in UK for a fellowship. So I had to spend a couple of days in Essex University doing courses, just taking feel of the campus, eating this very interesting sandwich, also finding out this energy drink called Wivenhoe, which I know because my favorite rapper rapped about it. Completely, absolutely useless knowledge, but I got really excited and I was like, oh, it's Wivenhoe. Faris Shafi talks about it. Anyway, so, and then I have this sandwich, which is a very interesting sandwich. This is a panini, right? And in the panini is pork, but like melted with cheese. So it's really nice. I absolutely love pork. And then, of course, I also fed the ducks on campus. Oh, look at that. Oh, the two of them.
Looking from the wrong side, but they overflow from the side.
In case you haven't visited the previous episodes, there is a huge lake on campus, and that was home to a lot of ducks, and these are very aggressive ducks, by the way. They can come at you, they can peck at you as well. So you might as well feed them, all right? And that's what I'm doing here in this video, feeding the ducks. They're really cute. And then went to the next place, which was Wivenhoe, also called as Wivenhoe. Very interesting place. It is just next to the campus, right? It's part of the larger area called Colchester, which is where my campus was, Essex University. And interestingly, the trail for Wivenhoe, it's called the Wivenhoe Trail, starts from the campus itself, right? So you do like a long walk, and through that walk you sort of reach Wivenhoe. And the walk is a gorgeous walk, right? Because you're walking through this thicket of trees, right? There is the river next to you called River Cone, and it's kind of weird that this is called a river because if you look at rivers in India, right, they are like huge, right? They're proper rivers. This looks more like a nala, but well, this is a river. It's called River Cone. And the trail itself, like I said, is gorgeous, right? So you'll be able to see a lot of these photos, etc. that I took. This very serene video. There are a couple of these benches which have been put on the trail, so you can just sit and enjoy the sight. So it makes for a very beautiful view. I went on this trail not just by myself. I had a couple of other fellows who were also part of the fellowship program who were accompanying me, and we walked, and we got to Wivenhoe. This is Wivenhoe. It's a small town. It's a parish for the retirees, right? So the old people, when they retire, they come and live here. So it's this very quaint, quiet, mostly boring town. The name is interesting, Wivenhoe, but Ho does not mean here what you think it means. I just hope YouTube does not ban me here. Ho has other meanings as well. Ho over here just means a highland area, all right? It does not mean what you think it means. And Viven comes from wife, right? Or wives. So this is a highland area for the wives, right? This area has been, I mean, almost all of Colchester has Roman history, right? When I discuss Colchester and the Colchester Castle, this is something that will become even more apparent, because they have this museum where they have this display of these Roman, artifacts, etc. So it's a pretty old place, right? One of the oldest in England, and this particular area also, has been in existence since the Roman time, Wivenhoe. And the main church is this one. It's a gorgeous church. It's St. Mary's Church. And St. Mary's Church, apparently the first building, which wasn't much. This wasn't the first building, of course. Clearly, just sort of, if you know a little bit about architecture, you know this is not the first building. The first building was a 13th century building. That's how long the history is. But most of this building is, of course, a 19th century building. In fact, it's written over there that it's a 19th century building. But sadly, when we went there, the church was closed. And we were a little confused as to when it opens over there. And there was this elderly couple. You could see them entering the church, right? And we thought we'd just sort of inquire. Ki church kab khulta hai? When does the church open? Right? Or is it going to open anytime soon? Or are there days when the church opens, right? This, that, and the other. So we're just asking a very innocuous question to this couple who's sort of sitting in the church grounds, right? Nobody obviously can go in because clearly the church is closed. And they just ignored our question. Like completely ignored and walked away. We had no idea how to react to it. And I was confused. We were pretty loud in the sense that we sort of repeated our question because we thought maybe they haven't heard it, because they're elderly people, sometimes they're hard of hearing. They heard it, they said nothing, and walked away, right? And I was, what's happening? So, I mean, I don't know whether they did it because they just didn't want to engage with us or didn't like us. Or was it a racist thing where they're like, oh, these are Indians, I don't want to talk to them. So, but anyway, that was a bit of a fail. And then, there were the church grounds were done beautifully. It has these beautiful purple, red flowers. I think they're called peonies. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. The purple ones, I think, are called peonies, but maybe they're gardenia. I don't know. I don't know if there's a difference between the two. My knowledge about flowers is very small. I just think they're gorgeous and symbolize romance and all of that. That's fine, but I would not be able to distinguish one flower from the other. In case you're coming here from my other channel, I do have limits to my knowledge. No matter how weird or unimaginable that sounds, I actually do have limits to my knowledge. Anyway, coming back to the church, right? So the church was, like I said, it's a 19th century building. But what's interesting is it repurposes a lot of the old Roman bricks, which I thought was fascinating. Repurposing is something which happens a lot in India as well. But in India, somehow it becomes a Hindu-Muslim issue because people just don't have the mental bandwidth to understand how repurposing is a very worldwide phenomena. It has happened throughout history of reusing older material to build new buildings. That's basically what repurposing or reuse is. And that has happened, with temples being reused out of old temples, old temple material, mosques being reused, mosques being sort of built out of older temple material. In India, mosques being made out of older mosque material as well. Palaces being made out of older palace material, fort walls. In fact, the most amount of repurposing in India happens in, these historic fort walls, where, any and all stone, wherever it comes from, is repurposed. So it's fascinating how on some stones you'll find some very interesting sculpture and you'll be like, what is this randomly doing in the fort, right? In the fort wall. But anyway, so this is true for Bijapur, where I did my MPhil. This is true for Mandu. But more on that later. Coming back to the point is that repurposing is very common, right? It's just that in India, we tend to sort of think of it in religious terms, and that is not the case. So here, of course, they've repurposed Roman bricks, which I thought was fascinating because, it's a very nice way to actually preserve the essence of a bygone era, right? But also sort of to derive legitimacy. The reason why they can say that they're a 13th century church today, and they say they are one of the oldest, in fact, the oldest building in Wivenhoe, which is not a lot considering Wivenhoe is just, it's like, I don't know if people from Delhi are watching, it's like it's smaller than North Campus or something. So Wivenhoe is just very small in area. Be that as it may, it's still the oldest building, right? And one of the oldest in Colchester. And the reason why they can boast about it is because they've reused these Roman bricks, right? And it's such a fascinating thing for a historian to study. But well, in India, there's a absolutely different popular interpretation for reuse and repurposing this, that, and the other. And I think that's kind of sad. But coming back to the point, we were disappointed. The church was not open. We took a few photos of me with the church, photos of the church, photos of the garden around the church, photos of the flowers. And then we stopped at a pub. We had a couple of drinks. I think just one actually. And it was an interesting pub. This is the pub. You can see the background. And I'm forgetting the name of the pub, but it was a very interesting, I think it was called Train Station Pub or something like that, or Station Pub, because the Hythe station is very close. Again, something that you'll have to go back to the previous videos to figure out what the Hythe station is. But yeah, so I think that's why it's called the Station Road Pub or the Station Pub or something like that. So we didn't eat over there, we drank. Again, the pub was full of old people because I think that's the town. Then we just, I think, randomly roamed see if we could find anything interesting in the shops, some knickknacks. There's a post office there as well, and I think one of my friends wanted to send a postcard, just not because he doesn't have a phone or something, but just because it's just, the whole idea of sending a postcard from a separate country or whatever, which is great. I'm glad he did that. I don't know if it reached his family, but he did that. And then we came back from the trail from Wivenhoe, and then I had this absolutely delicious bacon burger back at the campus. For anybody who has not seen my previous videos, food on campus was practically free for us because we were given a £30 allowance every day to eat whatever we wanted to eat in the campus cafes. So this burger was just, I love bacon. And well, this burger was amazing because it had bacon in it. So it was just, like a chartbuster. And that's how my day ended. Short, sweet, cute, trail done. I'd be doing this trail plenty of times later because I stayed in Essex for a while, many months. So I did the trail over and over again, but this is, I think, probably the first time I went to Wivenhoe. I will go to another place in Wivenhoe again, but maybe we'll talk about it later. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the next time I went to London in a sari and ended up at King's Cross Station, which is basically the famous Harry Potter station. And that'll be a story for another time. Please do let me know what you liked about the video or you did not like about the video, comment. And please like and share the video if you liked it and you think it's share worthy. To subscribe to the channel if you find it worth your time. I will see you in the next episode.